Tired of city life, we moved to the country and started our homestead by learning to raise chickens. Each day we were met with new challenges, new learning opportunities, and new adventures. Through it all, we loved our new daily routine, and of course, the perks and benefits. Join us each week as we add to our flock and grow our homestead.
Last week on Coop Dreams.
Before we could hatch, we needed to make sure we were prepared, and so I returned to the Urban Coop Company to find the coop that could solve our growing space issue. I really needed to stop the chicken and coop math and felt this coop would be our last one. Diane had offered to walk me through their models, but I kept dreaming of the walk-in coop. Following the tour, I was sold. The day ended in a magical way with a cookout and concert from some of the multi-talented crew.
Does anybody have two?
Looks like 5.
A lot was developing as our homestead continued to grow. First things first, I got out my incubator and set 5 Hannibal eggs, a Wanda egg, and, of course, another Pokey egg. Okay, so it is every 3 days that I need to add water. This regulates the humidity, and this is a little kind of screen that goes over the water so the chicks don't drown. And then I'm supposed to fill up half of that, and then put the screen back on. Then you're good to go. And then, like right there, it dropped from 99.5 to 95.3, and now it's climbing back up, 96.6, 96.8. It's on day 16. Thing in the corner shows that the automatic turning is on. And I marked them with an X to make sure that they were turning. And this is my candler, so I can take a look and see which eggs are viable. I checked on my garden. None of the other ones are even showing. Well, the picture doesn't count. It's got to actually be a pepper. These are potatoes, tomatoes, spices, garlics, carrots. I have no idea if my carrots are working or not. I started assembling my coop. Here's my first concern. We estimate 8 to 12 hours for 2 people of ordinary skills. When I read that, it almost broke my heart. I'm gonna try anyway. So far, all the pieces are here. No assembly yet. I'm still on the inventory pages, so right now I'm just laying out all the numbers based on how they look. Then we'll get to the assembly pages, but I've read every word so far. And took the plunge into a crash course in raising goats. Our end goal, although I'm told it's my end goal, is to get milk and make cheese, and so I contacted my first chicken coach who also helps people get started with goats, a true enabler.
This is goat's milk.
See, are you a goat farmer too?
Well, I milked them this morning at the school.
This is from this morning?
From this morning. This is cheese we made from goat's milk over the last several months.
You're like an enabler, because this is going to get me...
Well, we're not talking about that.
To her, yeah.
Right.
No.
Right.
The goats are down the road a bit, but you're planting seeds here.
Yeah.
I get that. He directed me to one of the coolest field trips ever that raises chickens, has a garden, bees, and a goat milking and cheese operation. With the new coop delivered, I felt we were set for the next wave of chicks, and so I headed out to learn about goats. Andrew sent me to a school, but I soon found out this was not a normal school. For example, there was a barista and coffee bar on the 2nd floor, and the teachers got free coffee anytime they wanted. In addition, the school had 3 discovery zones. One that was a planetarium zone, Another was a greenhouse beekeeping zone. And the one that spoke to me the most was their outdoor discovery zone. Here, students tended a garden, raised a flock of nearly 24 chickens, and cared for and milked goats. I was met by the staff as well as a handful of students, and they patiently answered all my questions.
This is Willie, and he's our weathered male, so we keep a neutered male here so that the social structure is kind of maintained.
I don't understand that. What is that?
He's neutered, so
Right.
he
No,
can't
I
breathe.
get that
Yeah, I
part.
got right. He's the male. He kind of, I don't want to say he keeps things together because there's a female who's more dominant than him, but he's just kind of the check-in. They'll sometimes go around to him to check in, and he usually comes out and says hello to people before anybody else. And yeah, that's definitely a sign of our interactions versus the mama. So if you do that to the other kids, they generally don't necessarily take to it that way.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys like about this program?
Interacting with the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen a goat before?
Yes.
Yeah. Had you ever worked with a goat before?
Yes.
You?
Never.
No?
Yeah.
Can I pick one up?
Yeah, you can certainly try.
Anything tricky with it?
It's like holding a puppy. Just
Okay.
kind of make sure you hold
Four.
the legs. There you go.
They seem pretty curious. Can you tell when it's stressed and not happy? Is it okay?
This goat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think one of the other nice things that we have here that is different than a typical goat farm is these goats see kids every day.
Yeah.
Even on the weekends, kids from the neighborhood come and play. And
I hear they are incredibly fun and funny. Do you have a funny story? Has anything funny ever happened with a goat in you?
I remember one time we have a table over there, and Sunny, she jumped up on the table and she was like running around for like 5 minutes just on the table.
On the
She
table.
couldn't get off. It was really funny.
on a sunny day, they're out here and they do their little leg kicks off to the side and spring around.
Have you guys ever been attacked? I'm getting goats in a couple weeks. I've not had goats. Have you been attacked? Has there been any bitten, kicked?
No, they try to eat like bandanas or loose clothes, but that's probably it.
The ability to construct a goat house was a bit of a mental stumbling block, but I figured I'd handle that problem later. So what's the worst part?
Poo.
Yeah.
Feces.
What's the worst part? I know what poo is.
Yeah, I know.
The poo.
Yeah.
So, you want to milk a goat?
Yeah, I'll milk a
right.
goat.
All right. What we do is we essentially put a little handful to get her up in it, and then Joe will show you the rest.
Okay.
Is to brush and then one goat under the udders.
Two
Hey Joe, why
fingers.
don't you show him one time real quick?
Holy smokes. That's a lot of milk. Behind?
I'm going
Sometimes
to just
when
because,
she kicks.
yeah,
Wait a second,
with
okay.
you, she'll know that it's not somebody she's used to.
All right, Joe, help me here, bud. What are you doing that I'm not doing? Okay?
And then you just
So most of the milk's stored in her udder.
Uh-huh.
What you're essentially doing is you're capturing it in the teat, and then that pocket is like a water balloon filled
And
with
then,
milk.
okay,
and you're
that's,
just
I was
squeezing
trying to
out.
pull down. You're
Yeah.
squeezing it. Okay.
just squeeze.
And how long does it take to fill back up? Do you alternate between them to?
Pretty immediate. There you go.
Look at that. Oh, geez, sorry about that.
It rubs up against the palm sometimes.
Now, does she mind this?
But you
What I do
will
wrong?
try not to use your fingernails. Just
Okay.
like push.
Because it'll hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that.
Yeah.
They would mind it if we didn't give them grain. Grain is kind of our tie-in. Grain's high in the protein. It's definitely important to supplement grain with dairy goats. And it's why we feed her this way, is to make sure she stands for it. And then we weigh it on a scale afterwards. And Stella's been being milked for probably almost a year now. And so she averages about 1 pound a morning.
And then at night, is it the same amount roughly?
Usually not, because we let them nurse during the day, and so the kid's always taking a little bit. And we filter it, so just through a fabric filter.
And then refrigerate it right away, or?
Yep.
I'm not that accurate with this.
When she first was being milked, she was real jumpy.
Or the teats?
Just the teats. Her udder will get smaller, but it still, has mammary tissue and everything inside of it. There's a right way to do it. I've had students in here when they milk, it's just this really thin stream, and I have been right here and looking at their hands. That happens a lot.
It seems like a lot of milk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's got a good bit.
I don't want to sound like a baby here, but my arms are getting tired.
Oh yeah.
Your guys' arms get tired, or is it just me? Are you guys more in shape for goat milking than?
Like your arm and your back. Your tired.
And so now you can see that her teats flattening out. Get that little stream.
Yeah, so I got a lot of it. It's not like
You were there.
not like I'm.
You were totally there.
Yeah, I didn't mail it in all the way.
No, you're good.
How much do we get? 2 pounds?
2 pounds.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's real good.
Hey, we did
It's real
good.
good.
What do you do with these things here? Okay. It's good. Responsibility, accountability. I like it.
The Board of Animal Health guys that have come out here are really impressed with what we have.
Yeah, it's
because
clean,
they've been
it's-
to some
it's
really bad
impressive.
facilities. And so, for our size, we're pretty proud.
I would be too. This is a great setup you guys have.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay,
Now-
we making cheese now?
Yeah, we're gonna filter and we can show you the cheese
Okay.
production stuff. So yeah,
Where'd the
come on
kids go?
inside.
They all go back to class, or?
Probably it's that time of day.
I was dangerously gaining confidence in my ability to raise, care for, and milk goats. Then I got a tour of their milk and cheese operation.
If you really want to go the whole mile, we have a cheese making jacket for you as well.
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, we do. Yep.
Look good.
Set, we were looking for 8 jars, 4 gallons to make a batch of cheese.
Okay, 4 gallons makes how much cheese?
About 10 blocks right now. 4 gallons moves over to our pasteurizer.
Okay.
This is the inside vat there. We use 3 different kinds to make one type of cheese. So we make a Valence. It's a French-style goat cheese that's semi-soft. We call ours a gnarly bow.
Call it what?
Gnarly bow.
Yeah, that's the brand
Yeah,
name?
this is it sits until you get the desired pH, and then you add the rennet, which is actually the product that separates the curds and the whey. So,
I didn't understand
solid
that.
from liquid.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so
You've
then,
heard of curds and whey,
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so we let it sit for like 12 to 16 hours. So we'll usually just let it sit overnight, come in the next day, and the liquid has separated from the solid. All the liquid is floated to the top, and now there's just like a big coagulated curd is what we call it.
Awesome.
This is what it looks like when it's completely finished.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up?
Yep.
All right, I gotta wash my hands then, right?
Yes, sir. You ever wrap Christmas presents?
Not well. I've wrapped them, but I can never get the ends like, perfectly folded. And,
Yep,
yeah, so these ones might have to be discounted if they're
that's okay.
poorly wrapped.
Okay, so just like you're wrapping a present.
Look at how crisp yours came out.
Well, I've had a little breakfast.
Okay, this will have to go on the discount rack, I think.
And so from there, you would take a label
Okay.
and just, it's hard to close on, but just sort of get both edges so it stays shut.
Uh-oh.
There.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, not 100% sure it's beautiful.
Yeah, after a couple batches, you would get
Yeah.
it though.
Can you tell which was done by the professional? And
You did pretty good.
yeah, the back was, probably should have put the sticker on that. I like it. First bite, I wasn't sure.
Yeah?
I like it now.
Okay.
I'm really impressed with what you guys do here. This is not just on the educational side, but I think in all those life skills that you're teaching them as far as responsibility, accountability, fashion.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Right.
Don't you worry.
It's great.
Yeah,
Following the goat tour, I got to see their coop, dressed out with the local NBA team, protected by a rooster with the longest spur I've ever seen, and had the coolest nesting box.
I'll show you this side and then I'll show you how we collect.
Right.
So this is their roost. You can see they got a hole that they can go then down into the run. And then for egg collection,
Are you kidding me?
rolls out.
That's
Hey,
genius.
sweetie. And we have many breeds of chickens so that kids can see the differences in
Yeah.
various chicken eggs.
Is that poop or an egg with no
That's a
shell?
wood egg. It's a wood egg.
Oh.
To let
To
them
teach 'em,
Yeah, let them
yeah.
know where to lay. Okay. Yeah, it just pushes right back in. Folds down.
I saw they had the same wormer I did and asked how and when they used it to make sure I was doing it correctly.
We put it in their feed.
Always.
No, only when we feel that they might need it. When it's summertime, when there's a lot of puddle drinking going on, when they're out grazing a whole lot.
And just mix it up in there.
Yeah.
The responsibility, accountability, and leadership taught through these programs is visibly evident in the confidence and maturity of these students. Prior to heading home, Willie had a special goodbye for me, and it got me incredibly excited to have a goat of my own to bond with. He's pretty strong.
Sweet. Yeah, and that's the thing is you gotta definitely, if you're doing it, being aware that it's going on.
And there's not much padding on his skull.
No, there's
it's like
definitely
solid bone. Good Lord.
Yeah. And the most important thing is when you come up to him, you don't want there to be any space between your head and his.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because just a little push from him would probably be enough to knock you out. And that's Willie. Hi, Luna.
Okay. It's a good goat. It's a good goat.
He
Can
is
you
a
put
good
that
goat.
back on?
He's a good
Can you
guy.
put
He's
that
like,
back
"Mom,"
on?
He's trying.
Put that back on
I
there.
can't say I've ever seen him do that.
Can I get my hat back? Can I get my hat back? Thank you.
Good job, Willie.
What if I put it that way and you got nothing to grab onto? Huh?
Like, well, I'll find something.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah.
See ya, bud.
Thanks. Thanks for being out here.
So cool. I have tons of questions.
What we're here for.
The drive home had my mind racing on solutions for my problem of not having a goat house and not having the skill to build one. While struggling with that dilemma, it did motivate me to begin to get our final coop put together. The average time for 2 able-bodied adults to assemble the walk-in coop is 8 to 12 hours. That's pretty flush. So I figured I'd need to set aside 16 to 24 days. Dang it. Back that out a bit. Dang it. Got a weed caught down on the bottom.
Next week on Coop Dreams.
The chicks had 5 days left, which presented a bit of a concern. With Edward still being a bit aggressive and 2 teenage roosters, I now had 3 roos, and if I'd stayed normal, I may get 3 more. Before they all turned on me, I needed a better understanding of how to work with them, and I invited Chris from the Eggs and I up to help.
For more fun, like Coop Dreams on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and visit our website at www.fadedjeans.tv.